Okay, let's say you're a young architecture student and you've been designing blue sky solutions to all your assignments, but you'd really like to sink your teeth into a real world problem. Well, behind me is a shop that can do exactly that. This is the Albert and Tina Small Center for Collaborative Design that works in conjunction with the Tulane School of Architecture. And what they do is they take budding young architecture students and introduce them to real world problems, real world clients, and help them engineer real world solutions. Hello.
Hi.
Nice to meet you. Emily, give me the 10,000-foot view of where we are right now. What is this facility?
Yeah, we're at the Small Center. We are part of the School of Architecture, and so we get students and faculty out into the community doing work with nonprofits, community group, and we've got a budget and a timeline and a lot of real-world constraints there. We've got about 16 weeks from the first meeting with the client till we have a finished project.
Can you walk me through how that process goes for the students?
Yeah, sure. Right now we've got a project underway with Big Class, a children's writing program in a local school. And so with our students, we just assume that no one knows how to build anything on the first day of class. And we go through the wood shop with a few tool tutorials. They start making some really conceptual little wooden models that are exploring ideas and getting them some hands-on experience with the tools. And from there, we jump into some more complicated projects. We make some furniture. We do a furniture making assignment.
How when you say you're expecting that they don't know how to build, what is the percentage that does and doesn't?
Yeah, out of a group of 12 students, we'll usually have about 2 that have used tools before, and the rest don't really know what they're up to on the first day of class.
So invaluable for an architect to know how the materials they're designing gets cut and measured and built.
Yeah, so in the first few weeks of class, they get some woodworking skills, they learn how to weld, they learn some basics that help lay the foundation for our design project.
And that's before they've even met a client?
That's right.
Okay. How many of these programs have you run through the Small Center in its history?
We've done about 20 of these projects in 11 years or so. So yeah, it's a process we're constantly polishing. But we really pride ourselves in the collaborative nature of our design projects. So the clients are a big part of the design process, and they're experts in their own right.
Amazing. It must be so satisfying to see one of these to its completion.
Yeah, for our students, our college students that participate in this program, they have designed stuff in their education, but they rarely get to see it built and have real world implications and have clients that are using it. And so it's an exciting moment for them.
So they, like, while they're still in architecture school, they can have a place they can go to and be like, I was part of the team. We
absolutely.
Put this together. So where are your students right now within their design iteration?
Yeah, we're about midway through the project. I'll show you the design right now.
Okay.
We've got a design that we're going forward with, and right now we've just kicked off the build phase. So right now the classroom that is being designed, it's a writer space, and it's got these big gestural rib things that happen throughout the space, and that really enlivens this writer's room and gives us a chance to have seating and bookshelves and some really unique lighting strategies in the room.
So this is a scale model of the ribs that are going to go into the space.
This is a half-scale mock-up. So before we commit and go full forward, we just test out our ideas at different scales in different pieces and make sure that it's a good idea.
Oh man, how great it is to see it.
Yeah, and we get to take these models to the school and have the students test them out and make sure that our seats are angled in the right direction and our colors are working for the students, and yeah.
What is the blue tape on the floor?
Oh, right. So this is the classroom that we're designing for. We've taped it out so that we, as we're making mock-ups, can test it out in full size.
And really, you're physicalizing for them how it's going to feel and how it's going to space out.
Absolutely. The computer can become a really dimensionless rabbit hole, and so to walk it out in full scale is really useful.
So this is a full-scale mock-up of the lighting.
That's right. This is our lighting idea. So we've got acrylic on one side and a perforated aluminum on the back side, and it gives this really nice filtered light effect.
It's a beautiful optical illusion. I'm curious how they came up with that solution. What was the process by which they were trying different things?
Yeah, well, we had some materials around that we were experimenting with, and that earlier furniture assignment we did had a similar lighting effect that people got excited about, and so we figured a way to translate it to this project.
It's gorgeous. So where do the students actually do all the construction?
So right back here in our wood shop, we've got a shop right next to the studio.
Can I see?
Sure.
They're actually cutting.
Yeah, about to run a piece through. So this is a piece that's going to be one of the big ribs.
Oh, so this is actual construction of the project that's happening right now.
It's happening now. We've got a tight timeline that we have to hit.
Wow.
These guys know that if they want a spring break, they've got to produce some stuff fast.
How much time do they have left?
They have about 6 weeks left.
Okay. Wow, yeah, that's going to be tight.
I think they'll do it. I'm feeling good about this project and the energy in the group.
Okay, what are these guys doing here?
Yeah, so once our pieces are rough cut, they move to this station. This team is grooving a little, they're routing out a little groove for some 1x6s to sit. That's going to be the seat, the bookshelves, the pieces that span between those vertical ribs.
Are they making jigs?
They are. They're making jigs right now.
Jigs are really, really difficult.
Yeah, they're learning a lot. And they're also learning the value of making a good jig. Part of the beauty of this design is that we get to fabricate a lot of it here and then transport in pieces and assemble on site.
I see.
Because we're building this at a school, we need to shut down that school as few days as possible.
Right.
And so we're going to try to install during their spring break.
Emily, what about your past led to this? What is your experience as a maker?
Oh, wow. So I was in architecture school and a little frustrated with the fact that everything we did was on paper, and we were in a city that obviously could benefit from having architects work with underserved communities or communities that didn't have access to design.
Yeah.
And so as a group of grad students and some professors who are interested in similar ideas, we started this design build program at the school.
Specifically to have architecture students work with the communities.
That's right. And we didn't really know what we were doing, and we didn't know how to make things, but you learn along the way.
It's really inspiring.
Yeah. And I think it's important to note that at Tulane School of Architecture, we weren't really doing a lot of work in the community before the storm, but Katrina was really a catalyst for us that really made us question what we were up to and how we could be part of a recovery and longer term equitable society here in the built environment.
It seems to have made the city look more closely at itself as an entity.
We hope so. I mean, what we're doing is a little bit of acupuncture because you can't make huge impacts with a group of 12 students,
Right.
but I think that what we're doing is really meaningful for the groups that we're working with and is part of this rebuilding of our new city. This process that you're seeing here is pretty typical of our process for projects. And I hope you get a chance to see some of the projects we've done recently that are out in the world.
I think we are actually going to go take a look at some of them.
Excellent.
That's awesome. Emily, thank you so much.
Yeah.
This is really, really inspiring what you built here.
Thanks for coming by.
Thank you for having us. Okay, Nick, tell me where we are, what we're about to see, and how the project began.
Sure. Well, we're at the Ozanam Inn, which is a homeless shelter here in New Orleans, right downtown. And it's a good example of a recent design build project of the small center. So what we have here are some pictures of the before.
Right.
And really our basic charge was to improve this space. So kind of a broad charge. And part of the fun of it was working through a collaborative process with the staff of the Ozanam Inn, but also the clientele, so that we could recognize more specifically what improved means, right? So what we found was that there were some issues with flooding and also a leaking roof, and so really the main idea is to create a new canopy so that people can use the day space to be close to the services that Ozanam provides, and also to just have a comfortable place to be during the day.
All right, let's go take a look at what you guys did.
Great.
Wow.
So you can see here some of the initial differences, of course. Before we had a fairly low awning that didn't let much light in. So you can see the big roof canopy here, and obviously that's the main feature. And one of the main things that we wanted to do is let a lot more light in. So it's a little bit higher up, but we're also using a material called Lexan that is transparent, very strong, but lets the light in. And one of the other features was to get the clients up off of the ground. We have some minor site flooding issues here, and a lot of folks have their belongings with them. In addition to more comfortable seating, we had some sort of simple benches out here before, and so we're providing tables and backs and armrests and things like that. And then to our right, we just had some enclosures that helped to organize the just services, bike parking and trash and things like that. So,
and this was all within about a 16-week period.
That's right. So this is a good example of a project that is almost done. We have a few more bits and pieces to finish out, but the bulk of it really was a push by the students to complete their design and build work all within that period of time.
Incredible. Can we talk to some of the students?
Yeah, sure. I'll introduce you to our team.
Excellent. Hello.
Hey, how are you?
Pleasure. Howdy.
Nice to meet you.
Hello.
This is magnificent what you guys done. I'm also noticing that the beams here of your canopy are actually tapered for a visual likeness, as well as I can see these compound angles. It's making me tired just looking at what I know you were doing with the compound miter saw.
It's quite an impressive jig if you were to see it.
Yeah, yeah.
How was the iterative process with the clients and working with them to come to a solution that they was going to be comfortable with?
Definitely a lot of meetings, a lot of going back and forth, talking about issues related to homelessness within our own studio, talking about those processes and researching them, and then also meeting with clients who use the space, guys who are on program here at the Ozanam, really trying to get into what that experience is like, particularly in New Orleans, and also on a micro level just here in the space. And that really worked through a series of meetings, showing prototypes, learning this works, this doesn't, and a lot of our expectations weren't really true to begin with. And so a lot of things changed based on those meetings, and it was really great that we really tried to collaborate. What
was the most surprising aspect to you guys about embarking into this project? What was the expectation you had subverted?
I mean, the scale of this project was huge, and the fact that our clients were here every day watching us do the work and giving us little pointers here and there. It was great. It was great. We made some great friendships with some of the clients here and the staff of Ozanam Inn. So I think that was, to me, the most surprising thing, that real collaborative process that it became.
It must be so incredibly satisfying in such a short period of time to go all the way from concept to execution of something. Really, it's a beautiful, beautiful structure, and I can see how utilitarian it is.
Well, and I tell the students, I think after going through this studio, they will never design the same way again. Like, they recognize how easy it is to draw a line on a piece of paper and how difficult it is to construct that line in the field.
Right.
And so, we had all these really sophisticated computer models of all of this, but then actually figuring out how to make it work, which was Sarah's job and Jonathan's job, it's an incredibly difficult thing to execute.
Right. It's that process of not just putting the design in your head, but putting the actual execution of the design in your head.
And then also seeing it tested in real time. Seeing it tested as you're building.
Right.
This is a space that can't shut down, that had to be functioning while we were constructing, and there was definitely some test happening on site as we were building that modified how things continue to work. So getting that one-to-one, really quick experience of knowing what works, knowing what doesn't, is a great experience to get as a designer, especially while you're in school.
Now, how long has it been up?
It's been up since February.
Yep.
Oh, so it's pretty brand new.
Pretty brand new.
Have you been already learning things about its sustainability and making some slight mods?
Yes.
Yep. We were just having that discussion with some of the Ozanam staff about little tweaks here and there to make it work better for everybody.
It's really beautiful work, guys. I can't believe what you achieved in such a short amount of time, and it's just gorgeous.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
I think the most encouraging thing is to hear the clients say that.
Absolutely.
Good.
Their appreciation.
That's great. Renee, can you tell me about Ozanam Inn and who it serves?
Sure. Ozanam Inn's been here since 1955, serving the homeless and underserved within our community. So we serve people who might not just be homeless, but they have a house, but they can't afford to eat, or they need some case management. So we have a long list of services that are offered. We give mail to anybody that wants to use us for a dress. We have 3 meals per day. We have case managers on site. We have medical clinics with Tulane and LSU medical schools on the weekends. We've got attorneys that visit. It's all kinds of stuff. It goes on and on and on and on and on. So we do a lot.
Amazing. Now, how did you guys find the students at Tulane to do this project with you?
So I got an email from our partners at the city about this proposal, and it just said design. So my mind went to graphic design, and I said, I'm going to get them to help me do this, that, and the other. And then I went to the meeting, and it was about build and design. And I was like, what should we do? And so I got back and I saw where our outside clients would sit during the day, and I thought maybe this is a good project that would fit with them. I had seen some of the other stuff that they had done, that they had worked on in the past, and I thought it would be a really good fit. So we sent in the proposal and some pictures of what it used to look like, and we were selected, which we're so happy about.
I saw some of those pictures of what it used to look like. How was the process of working with the students as a client?
Oh gosh, it was amazing. So it used to be that there was this chain link fence that kind of separated the line for our meals, and then when the clients come in for the evening. And that was one of the things that I really disliked
Just
and
the chain link
just
fence.
the chain link fence just looked sort of, you know, prison-like or just not very welcoming.
Yeah.
So the students were amazing. You know, they talked to the clients, they talked to the guys who are in our program that live and work here, they talked to the staff, and they really got a feel for how the space is used, what it's used for, and how they could best make things work with making it better, more comfortable, making it more aesthetically pleasing. And they took into consideration a lot of the suggestions that the clients made. Yeah. Like a couple of them said, we would like to see, you know, uplifting words or phrases or something like that. So if you notice on the rooftop, which is sort of transparent, they stenciled in words like inspire or Ozanam or courage or faith. So when the clients are looking up, that's what they see, and it's really nice. They, you know, made sure that there was space for the clients to put their belongings instead of just out in the parking lot, you know, where they used to get rained on. They made sure that things were angled to where the rainwater would drip, you know, drain properly and not drip on the clients, and just really put a whole bunch of thought into everything. So it was amazing.
In addition to the canopy, which lets the sun through, and the platforms which keep the belongings off the ground, we were talking off camera, there's a hidden feature that is not immediately obvious. You replaced the hurricane fence with benches, and that's about how the clients line up for meals.
So instead of the ugly chain link fence, we now have pretty benches that basically act as the guide for the line for the meals, the 3 meals per day that we serve. The clients line up, you know, just as we would line up to go to lunch, and they use the benches as the barrier instead of the chain link fence. So has the same function. It's functional, but looks much better. So.
From the outside, it looks like an equation in which everybody benefits.
Sure.
The students get both a client relationship, but also their eyes open into the needs of their community. Yeah. You guys start a relationship with the students. It must be wonderful to watch their eyes open up.
It really is, and I think Tulane is very thoughtful in that regard, because in the proposal, they ask you, how are our students going to benefit and what are they going to learn about our community with this project? So, you know, we said, well, they're going to learn about homelessness, and they did. You know, they had lunch with the clients, with the staff. They spent a lot of time outside with the clients that are using that space and getting to know, you know, some of their names and some of their stories, and, you know, what it is that brought them here. And a lot of times when the clients come here, this is sort of the end of the rope for them. Well, we just want to make sure that we're helping them not have the end of that rope, but in the meantime, at least let it be comfortable and let it be pleasing and let it be humanizing. And that's really what they brought to the table, for sure. And again, learned a lot.
Yeah, it's really inspiring. And thank you so much
for
letting us come and visit and see the great things you guys are doing.
Great to meet y'all. Thank you for being here.
This is about as inspiring as it gets. A community center serving the neediest in its community, needing a solution and finding that solution by bringing in a design school that requires to give its students real-world experience. This is a situation in which every participant wins, and it's super inspiring.